2 p.m. Detroit, and you know what that means. Detroit media icon Ryan Ermanni, University of Michigan great Braylon Edwards, and of course, Maz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network. Woodward Sports.
Jet Nation, baby. Oh, yeah, we in there. JETS, baby.
Hey, let's go! Monday show, April 29, 2024. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com, and the Fox local app if you're watching live, if you're watching on YouTube. Thanks for being part of our day and your day as well. Over 64,000 subscribers on this platform. Hit the like button, subscribe to Woodward Sports. Tell a friend about us as well. Braylon Edwards. My goodness, star number one of the night. How are you, my friend? Good afternoon to you.
I'm doing good, man. I wasn't the star, but I felt like it. It was a great time, man. Some pictures from the week, pictures from Friday, the little NFL booth. They had set up some pictures in the back green room. I took some with my mom, my girl, my aunt. This was here after the Jets made their pick. This was Jet Nation. It's funny though, if you look at the player and the team right behind the Jets, it was actually the Cleveland Browns. So when I'm celebrating with the Jets, the Browns over there talking to my girl like, "Hey, tell them we love them too." So I ended up going over there and taking a picture with the Browns. But I'm just proud of the city, man. The city turned out. It was a lot of fun.
It's your mom and Barry.
It's mom and Barry. Look at mom's in shape. Like mom looked better than me on Friday night, but. It was a ton of fun. This is right when we ran into Lily down there at the NFL Experience. This is right before. Had a great night. Ryan and Money got to walk that stage. And, yeah, this is BG. Shout out to Brandon Graham, University of Michigan, Super Bowl champ with the Eagles. But that stage was electric, and you walk out on the stage at Radio City Music Hall. It's 1,000, 1,200, 1,500 people. Man, there were 200,000 people out there when I walk out there. And, Ryan, I didn't know. I had no clue that Coach Jerome Moore and the Michigan Wolverines were going to come out on stage at the same time I was. So that was like, oh, this was meant to be.
How great was that, huh?
It was meant to be. It's in my city. University of Michigan is the national champs. They came on stage, and then I got a chance to pick for the Jets, the team I admire and love the most. So it was fun. I'm still kind of riding that wave, man. It's been a great year.
Tom Mazaway, good afternoon to you, bud.
Hey, fellas, that was a real fun weekend. It really was. I got to get down there, obviously, Thursday night for the opener. We had our draft party down there. Friday night, the guys did a great job. Saturday, I went down with the family, parked over at Cobo, or what do they call it now, Huntington Place?
Place.
Walked right over to Hart Plaza. Hart Plaza was great.
It's jumping.
It really, Saturday was a fantastic day, and I hope a lot of people got to go down and didn't get scared off by having so many people down there, because Saturday was fabulous. Got to walk all the way up to the stage. The area that I couldn't get to the other two nights, Saturday was the day to get up there. And then the Lions trade up 3 different times. I thought it was great, and they drafted that kid that we talked about from British Columbia. It was fun, man. Great weekend.
Before we get into the picks that the Lions made, because we could talk about that draft, the grades, et cetera, a lot to digest there. But pause. For all that they talked, the record-breaking crowd, just everything that was downtown and the blocking of this and being nervous about that, I think they did a tremendous job as it relates to traffic, Ryan. I'm talking about you could really get to where you want to go. And as you see people put it up there, they broke the NFL weekend attendance, 775,000. But you could get where you wanted to go. You could park, as you pointed out, apps that they had. There was more parking than I think they had. Talking about food and services. A friend of mine was in the food industry, said they didn't run out of food. And that was one of the major things. They didn't run out of food. Every restaurant was stocked to the brim. Heck, I came into Dick O'Dowd's pub over here for St. Patrick's Day. They ran out of Reubens on St. Patrick's Day, let alone Detroit every
and we
restaurant.
Appreciate Dick O'Dowd's sponsorship here. No.
Hey, they sold 10,000 hot dogs at Lafayette alone. I don't know
incredible.
What Grace did at American. Yeah. She probably did the same thing. That's a lot of hot dogs, man.
No doubt about it.
It showed up, and it showed out.
It's basically now the bar. Detroit has set the bar for which all future drafts will be measured now. Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt about that. And again, if I said this over the weekend, if you are, any big event NBA, NHL All-Star games coming here. If you're the Big Ten football championship, if you are the Big Ten basketball tournament, if you're a national championship down the line, and I know in 2027 we'll have the Final Four here. What about a political convention, be it the Democrat or Republican future political conventions?
That'll be fun.
Detroit is the biggest of big event cities. I mean, not only do they pull it off, they excel at these. And I think each and every time along the way, the city of Detroit shines. And I think the national media, when they walk out of here, and I heard Greeny say this morning just, about how great Detroit was. And I cannot wait for the day where that's not a surprise anymore. We ran into a fan who drove 17 hours from New Orleans. Oh my gosh, what a great city you have.
Aw.
I just can't wait for the day where that's not a big surprise.
You know what I can't wait for, and this isn't me trying to talk, or poo-poo on a thing or trying to bring it back down to reality. Just a real hope. And that hope is we continue what we build on in this draft. We had an amazing time doing the Final Four in 2009. They did a good job doing the Sweet 16 this year. Heck, even the Super Bowl was a really well-done Super Bowl when it was here in 2006. But then you taper off, and then it takes a big event, or it takes people to be coming from this city and this state, that state, to continue what we started. They had new signs downtown, new restaurants, new pop-ups. It was exciting downtown. Don't just do that for people out of town. The people that live here, the people that show up for downtown Detroit, have that for us moving forward all summer. I want a continuation of what we had last week and this weekend. I want it to pop for the city and the people that live here.
That arena of ours, Little Caesars Arena, is among the best in the country.
Yeah.
And once we get a couple of winners in there, never mind the concerts that come here, that's going to help. The Tigers playing winning baseball, it's going to light up the city downtown. The theater district, you said it, second largest in the country to New York City. That's pretty damn good, man. Dave Beechnow and the Detroit Sports Commission.
Bravo.
Hats off to you guys. You brought it here. You showed out. You did a great job. The Hudson Building's almost done. It's going to be a 5-star hotel. They're building a hotel where the Joe Louis Arena was. The People Mover's moving. The Q line, maybe we can get it to 8 Mile eventually. Everything's looking great, man.
That was the original
Everything
plan,
is on
right?
the upswing. We're going to get a soccer stadium eventually where that jail is downtown. Just think about
How long
that. You
has
get a
that jail
nice
been
soccer
there?
stadium down there, DCFC. We got it going, man.
How long has that jail been there? That was a Dan Gilbert project back in 2000.
They're still trying to knock it down and put something there.
Knock it down. Guys, Brad Holmes talked over the weekend about a number of things, but obviously talked about you as well, the Detroit football fans who broke a record, over 775,000 people packing downtown. And can I just say, that's just the amount of people in the footprint.
Yeah.
That's not the people outside of the footprint, which well over 1 million people downtown
Easy.
over the weekend. Easily. Here's what Brad Holmes had to say about you breaking the draft record.
I know it wasn't just Lions fans, but look, to set the NFL record for attendance for the draft site, that's I've said all along that we have the best fans in the world, and the anticipation of having the draft here just meant so much. We talked about it, just being able to let the world and the NFL world get a taste of what Detroit's about and what this culture is about, and great for our city, great for our franchise. But that's something to be said. You get 700,000 fans at one draft host city. That's about as impressive as it gets.
That's
How
just
cool is that?
fantastic. Lions fans singing the Lions fight song. And then, of course, that image of the pop.
Yeah.
When they picked
Terry and Arnold.
Yes, was you will. I don't think you'll ever see a bigger pop at a draft ever again, or
Agreed.
it's going to be some time
Agreed.
before you see or hear something that cool again.
You're absolutely correct. The only thing I can imagine would ever get more pop than that is if the team that had the whole city, Ryan, also had the number 1 pick.
Correct.
That's the only thing I can see topping that is if the draft this year was in Chicago and Caleb Williams, the whole 9 yards, that would be something different. I don't see anything topping that as well. I got to also show love to the Lions fans. I was getting up on the stage. I obviously never played for the Lions, but I cheer for the Lions. I talk about the Lions because I'm from Detroit, born and raised. Yeah, they showed up and they showed out, man. Like when I got a chance to kind of walk in front of the stage, maybe like 20 picks before I was making the pick, Lions fans were loud. They were proud. They were, you saw the differences because they had 2 areas. They had like the front super close to the stage, probably had to pay a little extra for that or get in there early. Then you had the majority where the rest of the people were back there. And those Lions fans were loud. They were talking stuff. And I was happy that I've been listening to you guys for the last 3-4 years. So I've been on the Lions bandwagon because I got a lot of love for the Lions people. So the Lions showed out because it could have went the other way. But a lot of love for those Lions fans. And they were loud. You hear that forward down the field. It was good to be a part of it, man. I showed them a lot of love when I was on the stage.
No doubt.
I was so proud. Yeah. It was so great.
What a time, It
was great.
Words of Drake.
And you shared with your kids, all your kids were down there?
Every one of them were down there, and they're all football fans. They're all Lion fans. They're all sports fans. They're all Detroit fans. My kids love Detroit, and that makes me so happy. I'm a city guy, city slicker from way back when. I told you, man, there's nothing like it having a great sports town. I would not be in a town that did not love their sports. Like this town's number one. This town is number one in sports fan love. No question about it. And I'm from the biggest city in the country, New York City.
All right.
We got 2 teams in each thing, 3 teams in hockey. This is bigger.
Quick question. This is for you guys, Ryan and Maz. Both of you guys are married individuals. The answer and the question is, would you be mad? So Thursday night, we go down. We had the pictures on Friday of me, my family, my mom, my dad, myself, my girl. We showed that. We put that up. So Step Pops goes to that with my mom and insert Friday. Saturday, he has to go to a concert with my mom downtown again. So then what he says on Friday, he said, hey, we had a fun time last night. I did too. I don't really feel like going tonight because we're going downtown for a concert and music hall tomorrow. So my mom sees this. Hey, Mom, because I know you're listening. My mom sees this as an angle. She can invite her best friend, Angie, who's my godmother.
I love it.
So he invited Angie to go downtown. Well, when she tells my dad is under the assumption, here's marriage. This is the marriage question for you guys. Because I don't want to go, you shouldn't want to go. Not because I don't want to go. Now you make arrangements to go with your best friend. So my mom did that. And my dad was, let's just say he wasn't the happiest. He even hit her with this walking out of the door. I thought we were partners. That one hit deep. My question and then she turned around, had a great time. She walked out there on the stage before I even did. My mom has confidence level on her, ladies and gentlemen. But would you guys be mad? Because the event before was at Ford Field. It wasn't the stage. It wasn't the green room, but it was cool. Friday was the main event. I walked the stage. You're in the green room. You're with the other players' parents. Would you be mad if your wife ditched you for her best friend?
Your mom went and brought her best friend?
Yes.
I'll always side with your mother.
You're a smart man.
Yes. Whatever side your mom's on,
you're a smart man.
that's the side I'm on.
What is my mom in the wrong?
Your mom is so right. It's not even, listen,
guys
as the dad, I want her to go with her best friend. Go have a good time.
True.
Come home in a good mood.
See,
Treat me good.
Man,
That's
you're
all
smart.
I'm asking for. Have fun.
Not to mention you get to turn around and go back down there the next day
Absolutely.
in concert. Okay. I'm
If
glad
Dad don't want to
I
go,
asked you guys.
if Dad don't want to walk the stage,
Yeah.
he wants to chill at home,
Want to chill.
I'm all for it.
Okay.
All for it.
So you hear that, Dad? It may have been you.
Whatever makes mom in a good mood, that's what
That's
you do.
it.
Right?
That's
Yeah,
all
check.
I want.
Took a picture with Barry Sanders. She walked the stage.
God.
I got to see you my mom's video because I told Mom, I said, hey, Brittany told her that you can walk through the tunnel. But Brittany and I, before the show started, we walked through the tunnel, but we didn't go all the way on the stage. We kind of stopped that little mirror spot where they were putting their hats on. They didn't want to go on the stage. Mom walked all the way out there, took a picture of everybody. She was living her life.
That's
her
awesome,
best
man. Guys, we'll get to the draft class now.
Maybe my wife would have called me honey once instead of you SOB.
Right.
Let's go.
Go. 6 new players for the Detroit Lions. Obviously, first-round pick Terrion Arnold. Ennis Rakestraw Jr., they trade up and get in the second round. Let me tell you about this kid, too. This is a player that Brad Holmes absolutely loved. This is, first of all, I'm going to go in order here. This is Rakestraw talking with CBS at the Combine. Let me go in order here.
As a pro, once you get into the league, what makes you think that you're going to be the best corner coming out of this draft?
I'll say I'll start with accountability, because without accountability, you won't touch the field. I got to go in there and gain the trust of the older guys and the coaches right away so they can feel comfortable with me and knowing I'm going to be in the right place at the right time. That's number one for me. I have no personal goals in the league. The first thing I want to do is win over my teammates and show them I can play special teams, slot, corner, whatever they need me to do. So that's my goal. And then doing those and achieving those things and put me where I want to be as a player.
So there's Rakestraw there. What about Brad Holmes? Okay, what about Brad Holmes talking about Rakestraw? Loves this kid.
We didn't go into it saying that we were gonna get 2 corners, in the first 2 rounds. We really didn't. It's just he was the best. He was the highest graded guy, for us at the time. So we went ahead and you know how we roll. We went ahead and got him. But those were also our top 2 ranked corners as well.
Can I just say this quick
please,
about that last part? The grading system that Brad Holmes and Campbell and the entire scouts organization with the Detroit Lions, what they see in players is different than from what anybody else sees. I really believe that. They did it with Gibbs last year, Gibbs over Bijan Robinson. They had this year, and I really believe them. Maybe that's my mistake. Maybe I shouldn't believe them, but I really do believe
Worked out pretty good.
that these are the top 2 corners on their board, and they got them both.
Yeah, 100%. We talked before the draft. Brad Holmes is the magic that he's worth, a.k.a. the mad scientist. What he's done in the draft has allowed us to sit back at home, and when they make a pick, when they take a player, no matter what school, no matter what pick, no matter what the injury situation is behind that player, you believe in that player because they really vet these players and they really go through the process. I like Rakestraw a lot, and if they said they were 1 and 2 on their board, then darn it, they're 1 and 2 on the board. We know Terrion Arnold was most people's number 1, so we know that. And if this is the guy that they want, that fits their system, that fits Aaron Glenn, that fits the way that they're going to be coached, then this is the guy. I'm excited for this pick. And also, too, you look at it. He's an Alabama guy, although he went to Missouri. People that don't know the story, he was going to Alabama. Nick Saban was really recruiting him heavy. He legitimately was on his way. He had verbally committed to go to Alabama. At the last second, he decided to go to Missouri because he wanted a program that wasn't built from the ground up. He wanted to be a part of a program that wasn't, insert 5-star here, you go to national championship. So he went to Missouri. He took the longer route and the harder route, but he is a leader. He's a stud, man. I like this pick for them. Another thumbs up for me.
I love these kids, man. What a difference from last year and the year prior, the defensive backfield, to the one you're going to see coming up. And I don't think they're done with free agency yet. I still think Stephen Gilmore comes here. This team, like we said, they're only 1 or 2 players away from really maybe getting to that Super Bowl. And that's exactly the way he drafted.
Well, you talk about all these defensive backs. Not only the 2 they got in free agency, but then they added Emmanuel Mosley. They've got their top 2 picks are corners. There's only so much time out there to play. Brad Holmes addressed that over the weekend as well.
A lot of these guys, where we're at as a roster, man, if they win a spot and play, then they play. If they don't, they don't. You look at the corners, we really like these corners. They're rookies. I don't know, they got to win a spot, because Carlton Davis has been a proven starter. A healthy Emmanuel Mosley is a proven starter. Amik Robertson is a proven, these are good players that have been proven starters that's made play. It's not just a given, but they all want to play. They're all wired right. But, man, look, and it's good to be there from a roster standpoint, you get, if these corners, they play. They got to win a spot. And that's for everybody. So it's a good feeling to be in a spot where we feel good about the depth we have. We feel good about the future we have. But, man, those guys got to compete. and win spots. But I know that we're a better football team now to take that step.
What do you think that competition is going to look like come training camp?
Yeah, I mean it's a bloodbath in there now. It is, and that's what makes everything better. That's what makes the room better, makes the defense better, makes the team better. Competition just brings the best out of everybody.
I just love that. I absolutely love that. You create competition at those positions. Get people on your team, sign players on your roster that aren't afraid to compete. Nothing is owed or guaranteed to one player on this roster. You want time? Go win time.
Yeah, 100%. In 2007, I was with the Cleveland Browns, and they had drafted me in 2005. They had brought in Joe Jurevicius in 2006. They brought in Tim Carter from the New York Giants in 2007. They drafted Travis Wilson, a wide receiver out of Oklahoma in the second round. You're just loading it up. At the end of the day, it's up to those players to make those plays. It's up for those players to show you why they deserve to get on the field. Just because you draft a player, Tom and Ryan, just because you bring a player in free agent, that doesn't guarantee you them a spot. That doesn't guarantee that they're going to be the best players, or they're going to be the ones that are in there in an intricate part of what you want to do. So I love what Brad Holmes said about that. He's creating competition. That's where you get the best. When you bring in the type of players, whether it's free agent, whether it's draft, the type of players that want to work. We showed that Tyreek clip last week. You put it in, Ryan. Tyreek was just talking about pause. When Tyreek was talking about, I messed up in the playoffs. That's on me. He can talk to me like that because it's my job. That's the type of players that Brad Holmes is bringing. The type of players that Brad Holmes is drafting. These Bama kids in his rake straw, and we'll get to the rest of the guys in his draft. Competition is how you're going to play for a team that finished top 4 in the NFL last year, the Detroit Lions.
And as Detroit Dabber puts in the chat, Amik Robertson actually retweeted that clip and loved what Brad Holmes said. And I think that's part of it too. Like you have to get players on your team, and in all of these draft picks, whether it's Terrion Arnold or Ennis Rakestraw or anybody else that we'll talk about down the line, you just hear these guys speak, and you're like, that's a Lions player. That's a Lion. You know what I mean? Just how this culture has changed in just 3 short years.
Amazing.
You hear Terrion Arnold, Lion. Rakestraw, Lion. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just so great. Amik Robertson retweets the Brad Holmes sound on competition. Lion. Easy. These guys run towards competition. They don't run away from it.
The thing that they run towards is transparency, Ryan. You've talked about this. Ryan, you've talked about this. I mean, Maz, you've talked about it as well. When you're in the league, you just want a coach to be honest with you. That's it. You just want a front office to do, Maz, not even 100% of what they say. Just give me 50, and I feel okay. The Detroit Lions are doing more than that. They're telling guys, look at the drafts, look at the players, look at who they paid before the draft. They paid their guys, so they're showing guys, hey, look, you come in here, you take care of business, you do what you're supposed to do, you honor the contract, or we're going to take care of you and we'll take care of you in space. They paid Amon-Ra St. Brown, they paid Penei Sewell, and we know what's going to happen with Jared Goff. It's not done now, but it will be done in the future. If I'm Amik Robinson and I see that, it's very simple. They're not making things up. They're not hiding things in the background. You come in, you play well, you'll be a Lion. We'll take care of you. If I'm a draft pick and I see this blueprint, it's no funny money. It's no Minnesota Justin Jefferson situation. It's not a player that's outplayed the contract, but now they got to beg and plead with the front office to get paid. They're showing you, you ball out, you do what you're supposed to do, you're going to get paid. If I'm anybody in this draft that got drafted by Detroit Lions, I'm licking my chops because I know it's simple. Come up, show out, get paid. Oh, by the way, win games.
Did you hear Amon-Ra St. Brown over the weekend? This is a way different Lions team than when I got picked 3 years ago. And really, and we said it, nobody wanted to come here. Yeah. Now, this is a destination. Look at the kid. The first round draft pick, Terrion Arnold said, he called the Lions and said, trade up to get me. I want to stay here. The kid slept in his hat. So did Ennis Rakestraw. Slept in his hat. They want to be here, man. The kid that we're going to talk about, the offensive lineman from Canada. They said it. If he gets drafted by the Lions, sky's the limit for this guy because he's going to be able to learn from the best offensive line in football.
Everybody always asks me they ask me now, they ask me then, did you want to get drafted by the Lions? Back then it was, do you want to get drafted to the Lions? Why are you asking me this question? No, nobody wanted to play for the Detroit Lions. Nobody wanted to play when I got drafted. Nobody wanted to play 10 years after I got drafted. Hell, they didn't want to play 15 years after I got drafted. That shows you how old I am. But now the culture has changed, and it's changed in, 3 years? 3 years, a team said what they were going to do, and 3 years later they followed suit. The Detroit Lions, it's crazy to say this, they might be the blueprint for how you run a franchise in all 4 major sports. They might be the blueprint.
It's
the world is upside down.
There's no
Hell
doubt.
must have frozen over.
Now I want to get to this guy as well. Giovanni Manu. Okay, this is who Maz has been talking about. This is who a lot of people is. This mammoth of a human being. A 4th round pick number 126 overall. And by the way, Brad Holmes talked about moving up this entire draft. Let me play the Brad Holmes first, just talking about moving up in the draft.
Going to bed, I was like, we're not trading in we're not going to trade in the 4th. I was like, we're just going to sit back and wait. But when I woke up, that's when I was like, man, it's those 2 guys that if they don't make it, those are going to be some gut punches. And so when I finally got to the facility and I went to Dan and I said, Dan, dude, there's 2 guys that. And I told him the 2 guys, and Dan was like, those are the same 2 guys that I was thinking about this morning. And I was like, let's go get them. Like, that's not
Reese, as far as I'm concerned, the 2024 NFL Draft on day 3 is officially underway. I've been sitting on this one for how long, Mel? You know this is my guy here. I don't know how much tape people have available for Giovanni Manu because this guy has not been playing football for a whole lot of time, but he is intriguing. How is this for a set of measurables? 6'0", nearly 6 foot and 7.5 inches, 352 pounds, had 34.5-inch arms. The guy jumped 33.5 in the vertical, and he absolutely pulverizes people with his power. He's got a basketball background. He could start for the Pistons tomorrow, power forward, if he wanted to. This guy.
And that's Field Yates on ESPN. He was fawning over this player. Like, this is the one guy that you're like, oh my God, like I knew nothing about him. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I knew about this guy, but you look at his measurables, you see the tape, you hear what Field Yates says, and then the Lions trade up to get the guy. You're like, okay, like you said, if there's one team out there that is the perfect situation for a developmental player at O-line, it's this team.
Yeah, you look at Giovanni Manu. Look, I didn't even see the film on him until Saturday. But when you watch the film, he's 6'8", 350 Maz, and he can move his feet like that. Did you see how he stock blocked the rush in, blocked him into the middle of the traffic? Like, the guy can move. It's first time really putting eyes on him. And then he gets the chance to sit behind Taylor Decker, sit behind Frank Ragnow, sit behind Panay Sewell. And he's from the Tongan Islands, which, like you said, is neighbor to the Samoa Islands. So Panay is going to have his back.
Oh, God, yeah.
Those guys are down. I played with some of the Ooses, as you call them, the bros. Like, I played with a couple of those. Wrestling to teach you a little bit about that. Mm-hmm. But when I was with San Francisco, whether it was Ice, whether it was Simone Pua, when I played for the New York Jets, they come to work. They bring that hard hat. Panay Sewell has taught you that. So now he gets to, and then Panay's one of his role models. He gets to play one of his role models, and it's one of those picks where these guys are getting up there in age. You talk about Taylor Decker last offseason. You talk about Frank Ragnow. They're going to eventually be gone. You get a guy who's a project sit-down racks for a year or two. This is another heck of a pick.
Not only that, they'll be throwing to him in the end zone at 6'8".
Yeah.
Well, you know, it does feel like a need. It does feel like a luxury pick at the same time, because where this Lions team is right now, where this franchise is right now, you can take a shot on a developmental player like this in the 4th round. Yeah. You don't need a player there to come in. You're desperate on a guy. You hope he can hit this year, like Amon-Ra did in the 4th round. Not saying they were desperate to pick Amon-Ra, but you basically have to absolutely hit every single draft pick that you make when your team is as bad as the Lions were 3 or 4 years ago.
They hit 90% of them.
Yeah, absolutely. But this, because of where your roster is, you can take a shot on somebody that is a, potentially high risk, very high reward.
And I know we're going to get into the guys in the later rounds. We'll break it down, go in order. But also, doesn't it kind of feel like because of the two – I guess I should wait until we finish talking about it.
No, let's keep going.
I was going
here.
to say, it seems like we took 2 shots, okay, in the middle rounds. It seemed like, hey, with the running back –
Sione Vacchi,
excuse me.
you got him right now, too.
He's amazing.
You want to hear Brad Holmes?
Let's do that and I'll go after.
Brad Holmes talking about Sione Vaki.
He worked out as a DB, very long DB workout, and the DB workout was really good. And then he worked out as a running back, and then good running back, and then after the running back workout, then he works out as a wide receiver, and then he does a wide receiver workout. Then he works out as a special, and you see all that, and the guys, like, I mean, the fact to even go through all those different phases of that workout was impressive in itself. So just the love for him just kept growing. But he's a very unique player. Again, it's nothing saying that he cannot play safety, but our vision of what he can become as a runner, but it starts with those special teams.
Please.
Yeah, and this is another one of those picks that you're really going to try to player development this guy. Look, everybody's laughing at his ability to play running back. Look, he was in the same backfield with Najee Harris when he was in high school, split time with Najee Harris. We know how good Najee Harris was at Alabama at the running back position. Now, so you know that it's a legit position there. Safety is what he's best at. It's a fundamental developmental player. He, as well as Giovanni, Manu, guys are all over the field, by the way. Vaki was all over that field for the Utah Utes. Utah, the last 2 seasons, damn good team in the Pac-12. In a tough division last year, Matt, as you point out, a tough conference.
You bet.
But it seems like they made the developmental picks where we're going to put this guy in the secondary, which now seems to be much better, much more improved with the additions of Carlton Davis and Mick Robinson and now Terry and Arnold and Rakestraw. So he'll have time to kind of figure things out, if you will. But it seems like because of what they got out of the value of the back of the rounds, man, the 2 players that they picked in the 6th rounds, one of these players is projected to be a 3rd-round pick, the other a 4th-round pick. You get those guys essentially in the 6th. It seems like even if you reverse the draft, you still have an A-, B+ draft and got the guys that you needed and picks that were valued the way they were supposed to be.
Both picks in the 6th round, Mekhi Wingo, the defensive tackle from LSU, and Christian Mahogany, interior offensive lineman from Boston College. 2 very quality players. I think a lot of teams liked why they went in the 6th round. I don't know. Why did Amon-Ra St. Brown go in the 4th round? Right. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just not an exact. Why did Michael Penix go number 8 to Atlanta? I don't know. The draft is not an exact science. It's very imperfect, and people do a lot of different things and have a lot of different beliefs about guys. KG is with us today. Want to thank him for his efforts.
No problem.
Pete Spivak is in as well. Pete Spivak killing it over there. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk to our WSN Lions beat reporter Matt Broder, get his take on the draft. All things, very exciting things happening too. We're going to hear from the schedule makers this week as well. But first, a message from Figer Law.
All right, let's do it. After an accident, people need to hire a lawyer more than any other time, so make Figer Law your first call. 1-800-A-WINNER, 1-800-A-WINNER. Their team of trial lawyers will get you the money you deserve. Who are you going to call? It's Figer Law. All we do is win.
The color, you know what time it is.
You know what time it is.
For you. You hear Ryan and Ermanni over there. Just get down to Planet Fitness because your fitness is essential. Only $10 a month. Just staying true to that. So come on down and get yourself a workout in a squeaky clean gym. I'm talking about shower, baby. You can get your shower in after the workout. And also, if you want to get it in but you're not sure what to do, they feature a 30-minute workout right there in the middle of the gym. All you got to do is show up, watch the clock, and it'll tell you exactly what to do. And the best thing about it is nobody's judging because it is a judgment-free zone. So come on down to Planet Fitness. $10 a month is all it takes, and your fitness is essential.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
To any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you.
Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
The most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Hey, gang, let me tell you about Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. Looking for a new car, pre-owned car? Les Stanford has what you absolutely need. What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand. It's exactly what Les Stanford did by adding the Les Stanford Buick GMC brands. The same great service that customers have come to know and trust. Buick GMC store located in Ferndale on Woodward, just south of 9 Mile. Looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac? Les Stanford in Dearborn, where they have been on Michigan Avenue for the past 55 years. You can find the brand you want under one umbrella, LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com.
Together, let's drive.
And you can drive on over to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Awesome is when a guy can be a guy and get an amazing haircut. That's the Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Stop in, sit back, relax, let one of Lady Jane's talented stylists make you look and feel great. Walk in anytime, 7 days a week. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
He fits how we want to play. And yeah, he's a tough, physical, he's got some dirtbag in him. And he's just one of those tough Jersey kids that, he doesn't take a lot of crap. And he's got some fun tape to watch. And he's gone against some good defensive linemen. And he's bode well versus them. So we were excited to get him.
It's one of the greatest compliments you could ever receive if you're a football player, I think. You're a dirtbag. You know what I mean? You're a little bit of a dirtbag. I think that is fantastic. Brad Holmes talking about the Lions' 6th-round pick, Christian Mahogany, the interior offensive guard from Boston College. A Jersey kid, Maz. What do you know about those Jersey guys?
I love him. Did you see his end zone celebration? They turned him upside down like he was a keg.
Keg stand.
So a keg stand. So looking forward to having him here, man.
Very
the more
good.
Jersey, the better.
Hey, look, I spent some time in Jersey, man. I got nothing bad to say about Jersey folks. Love them.
No, you do not.
Hell no. Go
God.
Jersey.
Hey, let's bring in our WSN Lions beat reporter live. No, he's not from Allen Park. Man,
Broder.
we got to get this off my rundown. Live from Allen Park. You got to get that off my rundown.
You got it, buddy. I'm just going to write something stupid next time to see if you read it.
I almost pulled a Joe Biden and said, and now
Pause.
Matt Broder, pause. Just because it was in my rundown.
Period.
You're Ron Burgundy.
Right.
You'll read whatever's on the top.
Hi,
Exactly.
I'm insert name.
Ron Burgundy?
I'm insert name here. How you doing, Matt?
I'm good. I'm surviving on coffee and sarcasm. I'm feeling great.
What a great week for the city of Detroit, for the Detroit Lions, for the network, for you. Your major takeaway from this draft was what?
They have a completely revamped secondary. Like, we knew this was the one spot that they needed to address this offseason. I don't know if anybody predicted they'd go 2 cornerbacks in a row, but for Brad Holmes to get his top 2 cornerbacks on his draft board, man, that's a win. To see what they're doing there, I know they didn't get an edge rusher, but with the secondary they have built now, it should create that much more time for Aiden Hutchinson, Ali McNeil, DJ Reader, and Marcus Davenport and James Houston to get home. So it's got to be the remade secondary, right?
100%. You talk about them not getting a defensive end or a defensive lineman to add to that team. Maybe that what they're trying to tell us is they believe in their guys that are going to come back this year. They believe in a guy like James Houston and what he's going to be able to do. Maybe they believe in Josh Pascal, and they definitely believe with the guys they brought in, DJ Reader and Davenport, in the offseason. Talk about the second-round pick. Because, I'm very excited about Ennis Rakestraw. We talked about Terry Arnold with you on Friday. Everybody, the city is live and excited for that. He slept in his hat. But I think Ennis Rakestraw is going to be one of those players where we're looking back at Sam Laporta this year. We're looking at Amon-Ra St. Brown in 2021. I think Ennis Rakestraw and what he brings, he could be that sleeper pick for us this year. Talk about him.
I think so, too. I think what he brings on the field, we're going to see a lot of what we were hoping to see out of C.J. Gardner-Johnson when he was on this team. Just that aggressive Rakestraw's a cornerback, and C.J. Gardner-Johnson was more of a safety. But I'm thinking about what he brings, especially at the line of scrimmage. Not just pressing up on wide receivers, but not being afraid to go up and get in the run game, go up and make a tackle. Really, both Rakestraw and Terrion Arnold are two of the best in this draft in terms of defending the run and their energy or their willingness to affect the run game. So that's what I want to see. He's not the same vocal type of leader or the same talker that C.J. Gardner-Johnson is, but I think you're going to see a lot of that production that we missed out of Gardner-Johnson when he was hurt out on the field. And he doesn't have time. He doesn't have to rush it. Like, he can get ingrained with this team. He can spend time with Deshae Townsend and learn what they're trying to do. This secondary is deep. Rakestraw, you're right, man. He could be that sleeper that we look at the end of the year as someone as a huge contributor on this defense.
Hey, man, let's stick with the secondary. Let's talk about what Brad Holmes said in terms of he's excited for competition. He doesn't mind drafting Rakestraw. He doesn't mind drafting Vaki. He doesn't mind drafting Terrion Arnold. He doesn't mind Amik Robertson, loading up that room and Emmanuel Mosley. Talk about that competition level that has Brad Holmes so excited, because I think that's what people are missing. It's not about drafting players you don't need. It's about creating that competition.
Yes, how are you going to bring out the most out of all these players? You can't make these two picks if you don't have guys like Amik Robertson and Carlton Davis and Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph and Iffy in that locker room. And that's the specific reason, well, maybe not the specific reason they went out and got Amik Robertson and Carlton Davis, but part of the attraction to those two is exactly that. They're competitors. They're not just going to sit on their laurels and accept, all right, I got my 1 or 2 year contract with the Lions. Like, they now have the ability to not only compete for playing time with the Lions, but because they're on short-term contracts, they're competing for a big payday at the end of it, whether it's from the Lions or another team. So the fact that we have this depth now where they're all going to be trying to bring out the best in each other, and like you mentioned earlier in the show, Amik Robertson has already hopped on the Brad Holmes bandwagon of, I love that he brought in Terrion Arnold and Dennis Rakestraw. I'm ready to compete. Like, that is such a huge culture lifter, if that's a phrase that we're going to start using. We thought the culture was perfect before, but, man, guys like Robertson and Carlton Davis just completely lift that up. I mean, what if they get Emmanuel Mosley back healthy in the middle of the year, at the end of the year? This is one of the best secondaries in the league.
Yeah. And then you have to give Brad Holmes yet more credit for re-signing Emmanuel Mosley. Real quick, I know Maz is jumping at the bit to talk to you. Ennis Rakestraw. Doesn't that just sound like something? Doesn't that just sound like a pick six or something? Knock somebody out.
Sounds like a baseball
force
player,
fumble,
actually.
Aiden picks the ball up,
rakes.
scores a touchdown. Rakestraw. It has a ring to it. Some names, some last names were meant to be on the big show. That's one. That's a name.
Definitely, and I think Kool-Aid coined or was pushing for a nickname this morning, just off the cuff. Straw. He's Straw. Like, you're right. There's something nice about Rakestraw.
Rakestraw. That's a cold name, man.
Hey, Matt, great job this weekend. We appreciate you, man. Hey, you mentioned it last week when we had you on Friday. They basically gave up their 2 third-round picks to get Carlton Davis and to get Terrion Arnold. And then they gave away the 4th pick that they got from Philadelphia for DeAndre Swift to move up and get a guy that I think is going to turn out to be a winner, and that's Giovanni Manu. I know a lot of people are thinking that's a reach. Oh, that's a reach. I understand that. I just believe that this guy is going to turn into something for this team.
Yeah, what a perfect team to reach for, if that's what we're going to call it. Like, to go out and get that guy. I don't mind how they gave up draft capital to go up and get, I'll say, both of these developmental guys. Shone Vaki, I really like, and I think he's going to do some. He's going to do some special things on that offense, and they know he's going to contribute on special teams. They said he was their favorite special teams. I'm talking Brad Holmes, their favorite special teams player in the draft who can contribute at all 4 levels. But when you look at Giovanni Manu, they don't need to rush him along. Brad Holmes said in his press conference that he got the answers to the test after the test was done, and both of those guys weren't going to be there when they had their next pick coming. So they wanted to make sure that they jumped up and got those 2 guys. And Giovanni, to be able to learn from Penei Sewell, from Kevin Zeitler, from Hank Fraley.
Yep.
Your old teammate, Braylon?
Former teammate, 100%.
Former teammate.
Yep.
It's such an invaluable experience. He's got all the athleticism. His size is off the charts. It's wild. he just needs some seasoning. He didn't get much competition. So the one thing I worry about is his ability to pull and do some of the things that they like to do on this offensive line. But, man, if there's any athlete who's going to be able to do that or be able to learn that, it seems like it's this guy. And we could tell, last thing I'll mention about the trades, like we can tell the strategy of Brad Holmes, with how he's doing these trades. Like he's not going and offering, guaranteeing contracts to the draft picks. They only drafted 6 players. They have 7 draft picks next year. So he's not tying himself down to a bunch of 4-year guaranteed contracts. I love Arizona's draft, like some of the players they got. But, man, they drafted 12 players. Like,
that's a lot of money.
The majority of those don't hit. Those are contracts that you're stuck to for 4 years. So I'm a fan of what they did. I'm glad they went up and got Giovanni and Vaki. And the way I look at this draft, I was a little hesitant just looking at it, and you see they did make those trades for those 2 guys, your top 2 4th-round picks. But when I took a step back and I thought, hey, if they took Arnold in the 1st, Rakestraw in the 2nd, Mahogany in the 3rd,
if you reverse him
in the 4th, Vaki in the 5th, and then Manu in the 6th,
it evens out.
I would say that's a home run run draft.
Yeah.
And they got them all. That's perfectly said, Matt. And you said they got 7 picks next year. They had 10, right? So they gave 3 away. Again, they don't need a lot of players. So they have 7 picks. They don't have a 3rd rounder next year, but he's going to move around and get a 3rd rounder if there's a player he wants. So I don't care that he traded draft capital away because they are this close to getting to the big game.
It's the benefit of having this complete roster. He's able to do all this, and 7 picks is 7 picks next year. That's not like they're the Bears and have 5. It's not like they're going to use them on a punter. Joke, by the way, because the Bears used one of their picks on a punter.
Yeah, they did.
I guess it wasn't a funny joke.
By the way,
no.
your audio
kicked out.
Hey, no, that's all right. Matt, I wanted to ask you, NFL schedule is going to be released this week as well. How many nationally televised games do you think the Lions will have? I think they had 5 last year. I think the max is 6.
Including Thanksgiving?
That you can have.
Well, they had 6.
Okay. How about some home games? Do you have any predictions about the NFL schedule release for the Detroit Lions?
Man, I haven't thought about this too much, but it's got to be at least 5 or 6 like last year, right? If not more. I love that they have games scheduled against the Texans, against the Colts, the Bills, the NFC North. Although I'm not a fan of a lot of their drafts, I'm a fan of the Packers. But the NFC North is going to be better. I imagine there's going to be a Lions-Bears game nationally televised and maybe 1 or 2 else in the NFC North. So this is a team that's going to be exciting to watch. I think the NFL sees now from the success last year, the country wants to see the Lions. They're not the Cinderella story anymore, but they're a fun team to watch. They got weapons, but they're also gritty and built in the trenches, and now they have this secondary. This defense is revamped. Like, I don't know if you guys could feel the energy in my voice. Like, it's amazing to realize like the difference in this defense just in the last 3 months. Brad Holmes has knocked this offseason out of the park. I'm trying to be unbiased and not be too excited about our hometown team, but I think the moves that they've made have been nearly impeccable.
Hey, Matt, you were on Radio Row. You were down in the thick of it. Tell me how the rest of the national media that you talked to thought about what Detroit did with the draft.
They were obsessed with it. Like that for a lot of the time, I was inside in this big media room with like 200 or 300 other media members. So it's not like we were in the middle of things, like in the experience, but we all had our time to walk around and kind of dip our toes into the different places and things they had available. And they were all blown away at just not just how great the city looked and how great the fans were, but how well everything operated, how well the security was and the lines and the traffic, like all the things they were worried about going in. The weekend seemed to run flawlessly. And then just the positivity and the optimism with the Lions fans, not just support of the picks, but how they acted the whole weekend and support of the city. I don't think it could have gone better. And I think they got a sense of that nationally. What cool pictures and graphics and videos that they've shown on all these networks. It was awesome.
Hey, Matt, you watch the way in which Brad Holmes conducts his draft. He's in his own world. He's in his own mind. He has his own players. He's not following the beat of the other 31 teams in the NFL, and you got to appreciate that. At some point, it's hard to phrase this, but I'm trying to add in the future. At some point, does it become interesting in how he does this? Is there a reason to maybe take pause for concern? Because it seems like he's trying to do a lot in those middle rounds, up and drafting back, and we'll get this and we'll get that, and we'll worry about this next year. Do you think it's a reach? Could it be seen as a reach if those middle rounds maybe don't start working out more at like Amon-Ra St. Brown? You do have, but there are some picks in those middle rounds where you're like, it hasn't worked out yet. Broderick Martin is one that comes to mind, but although he's on year one, you think about Pascal, you think about Keith Mitchell, tight end out of Virginia Tech. So that middle round, because it ever calls for concern. It seems like he knows the end and he knows the beginning, but that middle is interesting.
Yeah, it could be. I'm not as concerned because I think he hedges the player busting or traditionally busting, by making sure that they're a culture. So even if they don't elevate their game or turn into the player or prospect that they were planning on, at least they're going to bring the most out of their teammates. They're going to fit in the locker room and compete, even if they're not the ones that turn into the starter. And on top of that, they've added such great coaches around these kids. We talk about Terrell Williams and Deshae Townsend. That's how you get the most out of prospects who need development. I mean, and that's what we're talking about with Vaki and with Giovanni Manu and Broderick Martin and Colby Sorsdale. I mean, it's hard to name better position coaches for them to develop. So I'm less worried. Of course, he's not going to hit on all of them. I just like that he uses his value or his grading system, which isn't a traditional system, as Ryan was talking about. He was sharing a bit with us in his press conference how he does things, but he doesn't grade them out by rounds. So he's looking at guys that fit this team, fit this culture. Will he ever adjust once he's been here for 5 years and he has, a truly set roster? I don't know. But I think he's got the formula that works for him and works for Coach Campbell, and I don't want him to stray from that.
Hey, last one, Matt. Undrafted free agents. Hey, we got a kicker. We got James Turner from Michigan. Anyone else stick out to you?
There we go.
Yeah, I think the receiver they got out of Illinois, Isaiah Williams, I think he's sneaky underrated, and they believe in him. They gave him $240,000 guaranteed, so they definitely see something.
Nice.
He's smaller. He's 5'8", 5'8.5", but kind of like why I was pushing for a Ladd McConkey or a Malik Washington, who went to other teams. With Jared Goff as your quarterback, also with the way the NFL is played, like finding a receiver that can create separation near the line of scrimmage or in those 5 to 10 yard routes is almost more important than that 6'4" X wide receiver. No offense, Braylon.
Man, I got one
in the right system. Yeah,
I got one for you.
So who?
I'm ready.
Exactly.
I'm ready.
But you were the perfect fit with that Jets team and the perfect fit in a lot of offenses traditionally. But with this offense specifically and with Jared Goff as your quarterback, the things you can do with the shifty wide receiver like that is great. And the last one I'll point out, only because he was my first sleeper I picked to the Lions back in February, Brian Hudson, an offensive lineman, a center out of Louisville. He was a he was an All-American track and field athlete in the shot put and the discus. And he's played 5 years of college football. He's a strong, strong man. I think he could turn into possibly that Frank Ragnow replacement, if not for there was another undrafted free agent center who I don't know much about, but people in the comments of some things have said some really good things. But I'm looking for Brian Hudson in Illinois. What was his name? Isaiah Williams.
Good old Isaiah Williams, baby. Hey, Matt, get some sleep, buddy. Thanks so much for joining us here. We'll catch you in the morning.
Thank you, guys. Have a great show.
You got the great Matt Broder, WSN Lions beat reporter. Of course, you can listen to him every day on Wake Up Woodward. Kenny's a part of that show as well. Big league Kenny. Absolutely. He was talking about Brad Holmes was talking about his positional value. Broder was alluding to it. Let me play that clip for you because this is what he had to say about grading his players.
We are looking for villains, and so when I got tipped off on what positional value was, I didn't even know what that was. I didn't. So it was just like a new analytic. I didn't know what it was. So when you guys showed it, I was like, oh wow, And then I thought about it, and I was like, positional value. I was like, so you pick a position, but not the player. And I was thinking, I was like, no, we're looking for football players. So we're looking for these guys. And so, but it doesn't matter, so it's more positional villain.
You've never heard position value?
Huh?
You've never heard position value?
No, I haven't. I mean, what I'm saying, I never heard of it. I understand the word, I understand the term, positional value. Like, oh, well, you want to get a quarterback over, whatever. Like, I understand that, but I didn't know it was like a thing where you would draft a position regardless of the player. And if you draft, because I think that's very easy. Just like what I talked about like free agency in the spring. It's like, yeah, you can win the headlines in March and April and all that stuff. Well, it's like, that's easy to draft. Whatever the premium positions are, was it quarterback and edge rusher and tackle and those positions. Say you draft only those positions, but they're not contributing to your football team. So did you win the draft? Did you win the draft because you drafted those positions, but they're not contributing to the football team? Or do you draft the best football players that are contributing to your football team and making you a better football team? So we're trying to draft football players that contribute and make us a better football team versus just so. That's when I heard in that light about just draft this position. That's when that's the part that I couldn't really come to grips with. I didn't really understand it. So all good.
Thanks, bro.
Maz, you brought this to my attention for the very first time, talking about the journey that Brad Holmes took to becoming a GM.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about working at Hertz Rental Car, not Hertz, Enterprise. Working at Enterprise Car Rental, which means he's beating to a different drum. He's not beating to the drum of somebody that came up under somebody and got the role or got the position because he didn't deserve it, but is trying to figure it out along the way like a lot of the good old boy clubs are. Just in terms of people coming up under people. He had to go at his own. He had to interview to be hired by the Los Angeles Rams. He learned underneath people, but still doing things his own way. There's a reason why he's drafting guys this way. It's because he's beating to his own drum. We talk about it all the time. What the other 31 teams listen to, they pay attention to. That's not what Brad Holmes is listening to and paying attention to. He's talking about not even knowing what draft value was or positional value was. Is this some new analytic?
Well, just like last year, they said he can't draft a running back in the first round.
Why not?
He's like, who made that rule?
Yeah.
People get locked into doing what the masses say. The template that the masses put out, well, I guess I got to follow that template. Well, it doesn't make sense. Why doesn't it make sense? They said so. Who in the heck is they?
Right, like this year, no safeties, no linebackers in the first round.
He's doing it his way, and you're going to see success. These 6 picks, they're going to be successful as well. These 2 developmental picks, guarantee you once they develop, they're going to become the picks where you're like, he had the vision, he had the foresight. When are we going to listen to him? Like, at what point? Like, I feel like this is the 4th draft now for Brad Holmes and this front office, and people are still, that's a reach right here. I don't know about this guy.
It's only Carlos Menares.
Very true. That guy plays 2 positions.
Just messing with you, Carlos.
Just get it. The guy knows what he's doing. The process and the measurables that they're using, it's working.
Do you remember back in not long ago, 5 years, 4th or 5th round pick from that regime, they take a long snapper in Jimmy Landis.
Right. You know what that sounds like? Sounds like Bill Belichick.
Ain't that something?
And guess what?
How far have they come?
That's what they did. We got to do it this way because this is what Bill Belichick did. Once again, it's the blind leading the blind. Sometimes you got to step out and do things for yourself.
The smartest guy in the room syndrome, too.
Yeah.
I'm smarter than you. I'm going to get the long snapper
Delani
here.
Tavai was the smartest guy in the room.
Right, yeah.
I texted yesterday with Dave Burkett because he was putting out his undrafted free agents. So I hit him a couple of times. And he told me, Brad told him that they're probably going to hold 2 or 3 kickers on the team this year between the practice squad and the team. So James Turner's got a shot to make this team. Who knows if they go get that Michigan Panthers kid, Jake Bates, as well.
Well, I don't know if they can get the perfect kicker. And by the perfect kicker, I mean you knock everything inside of 45.
Right.
And then you can hit a couple from 58, 59.
There's 5 teams that have a perfect kicker right now. 5.
So maybe you get a guy that can take a shot, like whether it's Bates for the Michigan Panthers or Turner from Michigan. Maybe you take a guy that can knock in 7 out of 10 from 55 and 60. That's not out of the realm of possibilities.
And Badgley is your extra point guy.
Badgley can knock in your extra points and everything under 45.
Correct.
40. 40, okay. Right. We don't want to get crazy and say 40, heaven forbid, a 44-yard field goal. Don't want to go there. Guys, we'll take a break. We'll go around the NFL. Lots more to get to regarding the Detroit Lions as well. Penei Sewell had his press conference today, too, after he signed his massive deal, making him the highest paid offensive lineman in pro football. We'll do that next, but first a message from us, WSN.
That's right. Hey, guys, don't go anywhere. I want to show you guys something real quick. Check this out. Look at the new shirt we have at shop.woodwardsports.com.
Oh, yeah, baby. There you go.
The 775,000 draft t-shirt is now available. Shop.woodwardsports.com. Head there and pick yourself up one in your size or pick up a gift for somebody else. Don't forget, let your friends and family who were in for the draft this past weekend, send them home with something cool from shop.woodwardsports.com. The hoodies, the tees, and the hats that are guaranteed to turn heads. Again, head to shop.woodwardsports.com. Over to Maz. Maz, would you put that t-shirt on Jeter?
You know it. You know I take care of my guy, little Jeter. He's going to go to Premier Pet Supply. PremierPetSupply.com. Family owned and operated for over 30 years. 13 Metro Detroit locations, over 60 brands of food at the lowest prices available, and they've got curbside delivery if you need it. Not only that, nutritionists on call anytime you have a question about your pet's needs. Give your pet the best. Do not settle for less. It's PremierPetSupply.com.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Hamp for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
The most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of. And guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out PremierPetSupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
Nashville Hot is back at Soroki's, but only for a limited time, so you gotta pull up on them now. The Nashville pizza, the fries, the chicken sandwich, and the chicken tenders, and trust me, they are spicy. We had them 2 weeks ago, and woo, still going hot, but hey, it's going crazy. But also, if you don't want it, if it's too hot for you, they also feature crispy chicken and pizza. Also, fresh salads and fresh sides. It's a fresh place to hang out. You don't know that term. You don't know nothing about the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Check out the Nashville Hot. It's back at Soroki's before a limited time only.
All right, guys, and after an accident, people need to hire a lawyer more than any other time. So make Feiger Law your first call. 1-800-A-WINNER. 1-800-A-WINNER. Their team of trial lawyers will get you the money you deserve. Who are you going to call? It's Feiger Law. All we do is win.
Love it. Blake Corum got that tattoo. All we do is win. He's part of the Feiger Law team as well. How about that? Love
Feiger
it.
time.
All right, Tom Massey.
I just knew that somehow Jim was going to find his way to Blake Corum.
Oh, man.
Like, obviously, he got Junior Colson, a heck of a player. You knew he was going to get a Michigan guy. I just thought Blake was the one that he was going to get. Didn't work out, but he's still in L.A.
Still in L.A.
Same building.
That's right.
Hey, we'll talk about Jim Harbaugh and what he did. You know it. He got the call. First thing he did was call Junior Colston.
Coach Harbaugh calling.
What's up? How you doing?
You ready to be a Charger?
Yes, sir, I am. You already know it. You already know it, man. Come on now.
I already know.
Let's make it happen.
Who's got it better than us?
Nobody, man. Nobody. Let's make it happen.
All right,
yes, sir.
It's happening. It's happening right
It's
now.
happening.
Right
It's
now.
happening right now.
Get ready to watch on TV.
He's definitely a quirky guy, but he knows how to win everywhere he's gone. He seems to be able to turn that place around, whether it's San Fran, whether it's Michigan, heck, whether it's Stanford when he had Andrew Luck. You know what you notice about guys, man, as you talk about it, you brought this to your light, is guys come from that college space. They know their players. They go get their players, and they know how to talk to their players. They know that even though Junior Colson is a rookie guy, he's going to be a first-year guy in the NFL, Jim's going to depend on this guy a lot. It's very similar to what you saw to Jimmy Johnson and Michael Irvin.
Yep.
Michael Irvin may have been a young guy, but he's a Jimmy Johnson guy, University of Miami. It'll be a similar deal. And at the end of the day, you can either get on board or you can get off the train. I think people will listen to Harbaugh and the message that he's going to preach.
Hey, there were a lot of Michigan players taken.
13.
13 of them. 18 if you count undrafted free agents as well. 18
It's crazy.
Michigan players are in the
incredible.
NFL. This is Jim Harbaugh talking about watching his players get picked in the NFL draft.
All right, there's some it got emotional for me. It really did. And little hairs on the arm were standing up, and I'm a Charger, but I mean those are my guys, so neat. I mean, I love seeing some of the records broken. The amount of guys that were at the combine. The 3 players in a row. I don't know if that's ever been done in the draft, to have 7 players picked in the first 3 rounds. That's a first for Michigan. Just so many cool things. So yeah, I'm telling you, it got emotional in a good way for me.
And it's no secret why Michigan won the national championship.
There you go.
Their players were better than everybody else. Oh, by the way, this is the first year, and I forget how many years, that the SEC did not have the most amount of players drafted. It was the Big Ten.
Yeah.
The Big Ten had more players drafted than any conference in football. Michigan had more players drafted than any team in football. 3 players in a row at one point, 7 of the top 100. That is an incredible number of players that are now moving on to the pro game.
And you got to sign your hat up for Ben Herbert. Take your hat off to Ben Herbert, the strength and conditioning coach, and what he was able to do over the past 4 seasons with the Michigan Wolverines. You also take your hat off to player development. That is really where Jim Harbaugh lacked the first 5 years in University of Michigan. It was the player development. They were bringing a guy, i.e. Rashawn Gary, i.e. Jambiro Peppers, i.e. 5-star talent that wouldn't get better. Dylan McCaffrey, and the list goes on. 5-star talent that would come in around in mind, and they wouldn't get better. Rashawn Gary was the same player the day he walked through the doors as the day he left. He started getting good once he got in the NFL. Now you have the player development. Players got better from year to year. I watched Trill Roman. Shout out to him as well, Pittsburgh Steelers. Watched him run routes 2 years ago versus watching him run routes last year. Was a much different wide receiver, and the rest goes for all those players on that line. They got much better. Harbaugh should tip his cap. It's his players, like you said, they're the best in the league. And when you win, I tell you what Lloyd tells me all the time, when you win, everybody has success. Right. Everybody gets a piece of it. When you win like Michigan has over the last 3 years, especially this season itself, everybody's going to get a piece of that because everybody contributed to it.
10 Michigan players taken in the top 100. Pretty good.
First time ever.
Pretty damn good. Blake Corum, he was one of them. He got the call from the L.A. Rams.
Hey, this is Les Snead, Los Angeles Rams. We're picking right here at Pick number 83. We're going to draft you to be a Los Angeles Ram.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I
Now we'll put
appreciate
you
it.
on the phone with your head coach, Sean McVay.
Blake. What's up, Coach? How are you?
Oh man, I'm fired up. This is, dude, I've loved watching you play for a long time. I think you're going to be a perfect fit for us. Got a lot of people excited, man. I didn't think we'd be fortunate enough to be able to get you here.
Nah, I can't wait to get to work and help the team win.
I love it, man.
Look at his dad, man. That's phenomenal.
I had a therapist one time tell me.
Go ahead.
I think this is great advice. You know, in life, you root for certain things to happen.
Right.
And you root for things not to happen. But sometimes you should just root for the best possible outcome.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean, if Blake Corum didn't injure himself against Illinois last year or whatever it was that where he couldn't play against Ohio, I think it was the Illinois game. He was coming out of college. He was coming out of to go to the NFL draft.
Yeah, a year early.
So at the time, you can't even fathom that injury was really the best thing that ever happened to you. You can't even fathom it. But that injury was the best possible outcome for Blake Corum because he comes back to Michigan, he wins the national championship, and then he now goes to a place with Sean McVay and the LA Rams that really feels like the absolute best possible situation for him to go to professionally. The team, the city, the coach, the type of offense that is run, he really is in a perfect spot with Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford as his quarterback. He comes out last year, you have no idea where you end up. And, I think all that matters. It worked. It worked out for him.
This college coach is there, too.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, and I couldn't tell it any better myself. I mean, you look at the team that they're on. That team legitimately was 2 blown plays away from beating the Detroit Lions this year, and we wouldn't be as excited about the Detroit Lions finishing that season if not. But you talk about Matt Stafford, you talk Puka Nacua,
Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp came back towards the end of last year, and now they have a Pro Bowl running back in Kendrell. So now you mix those two. Everybody needs a two-headed monster.
They got Karen Williams.
And that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. He graded out well last year. He was right behind Jahmyr Gibbs and talking about grading out as a rookie. So you mix that two, it's a two-headed monster. And good for Blake Corum. You're right. This could not have happened if that didn't happen. It's an amazing year for him.
Right.
Since he got hurt against Illinois, a year and a half.
Yep.
Hey, on Friday, Roger Goodell sat down with Pat McAfee show, talked about the 17-game schedule that you all know is going to 18 games. And for how many years have I told you the Super Bowl will wind up on President's Weekend? So everybody's got Monday off, except us, of course. Check it out.
Now, the NFLPA is always going to fight against having more games. Is there a plan to continue to expand? Because 17 games feels good now. Like at the beginning, I think a lot of players, and I don't want to talk for in the locker room, there's probably a lot of offensive linemen and things like that are telling me to shut the hell up. But as fans, it's like 17 games has just become like status quo. Is there a thought of adding another one, maybe adding another bye week so we can get more exposure, more TV deals, or are we good at 17 right now?
Well, I think we're good at 17 now. But listen, we're looking at how we continue. I'm not a fan of the preseason. I don't think we need
waste of time, right, and energy.
I don't buy it, and I don't think these guys like it either.
Well, they have to spend full price for the tickets for those games.
No, they're actually discounted now. So
thank you for doing
we
that.
got that done.
Thank you.
But,
our commission. That's our commission.
Thank you, commission. But the reality is, I think I'd rather replace a preseason game with a regular season any day. That's just picking quality, right? So if we got to 18-2, that's not an unreasonable thing. The other thing it does, which I thought you were going to, is that ends up on President's Day weekend, which is a 3-day weekend, which makes the Sunday night, and then you have Monday off. So that's
wow. Now we're good. Now we're cooking.
See,
now we're cooking.
Did you talk to the president about having the Monday after Super Bowl off too?
Need that. Yeah, we saw you at that oversight committee when I was really excited for you to get in there because
it was fun.
I called you Goodle. One guy called you Goodle.
There you go,
All
boys.
credit goes to you, Tom Mazaway, who called this 2 years ago.
18 weeks and President's Weekend. It's a slam dunk.
I really didn't consider the President's Weekend thing until a couple of months ago.
How could you not?
Well, when the Super Bowl literally was a week before President's Day, when every school had off on Monday, you're like, wait a minute. Why? Just either add the game or add a bye week or add something.
That's it.
And get that Super Bowl on a President's Day Monday.
Preseason games are going away.
Yeah.
You might get one preseason game, and you're going to get a week 18.
Yeah.
And you're going to get 2 bye weeks, and the playoffs are going to go. Who knows? You might not even have the week off in between the Super Bowl and the playoffs anymore.
Maybe.
They'll figure it out.
That kid needs his butt whooped, but that's all he needs. Good butt whooping. You won't be crying like that anymore. My mom would have tore my hide up if I was.
But you go to
like
jail
that
for that now. That's why these kids are so soft. You can't hit these kids anymore.
They're going to jail regardless. It seems.
Kidding.
Yeah, no, but
I'm glad Adrian Peterson ain't here though.
you
For those of you who maybe can't hear, there's a kid crying, getting his hair cut, like screaming, like it's torture.
I tell you what, you ain't heard the people out of Adrian's son since.
No, you didn't. You did not.
You ain't heard
You did not.
No, but all jokes aside, we're joking here. Just getting. You made me forget what we even talking about.
You were talking about the Super Bowl and 18th game and Monday, and
the only thing about that is you're seeing injuries at a rapid rate, and then you talk about them, and you have a theory about them. It's just they're playing different sports. But with that being said, regardless if that's right or not, it adds on to it when you don't play in the preseason. Guys are just starting out fresh. You're starting with the contact. You're starting at 100%. There's a pace to a preseason. There's an entry point. The first game is, you play a couple plays, you ease into about 70%, 80%, then you play the one game. Now guys aren't just playing until the season starts. You've seen a ton of guys get injured in that week 1 to week 5 space. So guys get injured regardless without it, but I'm just saying I think you'll see more injuries. That's the only thing about limiting it, because now it goes down to 2 preseason games, 18 games, as Maz said, and then you play into President's Day. Now you got more injuries. Now you got more your star players. Now you got more of the people that people are paying those good hard-earned bucks to see. Now you got them getting injured in week 1, week 2. Here's Aaron Rodgers. Here's insert player here. Got to be careful with going 18 games, because also, who can make it through 18 games?
Well, that's right.
It's going to be load management.
Forget about what about 17 games? I said last year, I think we were looking at the DJ Reed. I forgot whoever we were looking at.
If you played 14 games,
guy plays 14, 15 games. I got to look at that like you played a full season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's real.
Not too many people's bodies can hold up 17 consecutive weeks. Heaven forbid you make the playoffs. Heaven forbid you go to the Super Bowl. You're trying to tell me 20 weeks of football almost in a row with a week here and there, but with the 2 byes.
Don't forget Thursdays, playing on Thursdays and Mondays.
And going overseas and traveling.
You cannot tell me that part of the reason why the Chiefs roster, outside of money, understanding they had to pay Chris Jones, they had to pay Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and their left tackle. But outside of that, you can't tell me that their roster isn't shifting year by year. They've been in the playoffs the last 6 years in a row. They've gotten to the AFC Championship. They got into the Super Bowl 4 of those years. That takes a toll on the body. I mean, look at the Bills. They came up short this year. They're losing in the first round last 2 years in a row. That getting into the playoffs, going to the championship round of the Super Bowl, takes a lot out of you. I made it to the AFC champion twice. We were exhausted, and we didn't make it to the Super Bowl, but we were exhausted by the time we lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers after the AFC run. Those games, they add up. Those weeks, those nicks, those pains, those bruises, that adds up.
Just a couple of people in the chat here. Mike Hard 313 says expand the 53-man roster, problem solved. I think that
good point.
That is, to Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell's credit, if you make this team's practice squad, you're basically on the active
roster. You're going to play
at
some point.
They use you.
They don't say it's a 53-man roster. They say it's a
71-man.
Yeah, 71-man roster.
Yep, it's 18 guys on the practice squad now.
And you better be ready because they can call upon you at any point. How did you get paid? I think Cody asked about game checks. Did you get paid during the preseason too, or just 16 game checks?
Preseason.
You just get 16 game checks?
No.
Do you have an option of how you want to take that money?
No. Like most teams, you give you just...
Can you get paid every 2 weeks all year if you wanted to?
Sometimes with the Browns, we were 2 weeks. With the Jets, it was 1 week. I mean, it was once a month. Yeah, you just got a huge check once a month.
That's crazy,
man. How about playoff? You get paid for the playoffs?
Preseason, everybody got it's like a $300 check like for each game. You said what?
You get paid for the playoffs?
Yeah, the playoff, the way they stipend the money off is because there's no technical playoff contract. everybody gets paid the same amount.
I see.
So you get, I'll throw a stat out there. When I was out there, I think you get like $28,000 for week 1.
That's it?
You get like $60,000 for week 2.
That's all? Oh, okay.
Then you get $90,000 for week 3, and then you get $120 if you lose the Super Bowl.
You know what should happen?
$200 if you win.
Instead of the owners getting the $3 million or whatever, what is it? The Peacock game got the NFL $100 million. You split that up between 32 owners. It's like, just give that money to the players.
Yeah. They never do that, but
never do that.
Common sense.
A Diz 411, 65. The 12 guys go the practice squad, not 18. But I understand your point.
I thought they expanded the practice squad.
Like a 65-man roster.
I thought it was 18.
Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't.
My bad.
Also, over the weekend at the NFL draft, this was a pretty good topic. I think it's something that I mentioned last year at this time, and I got laughed off the stage.
Not by me. I agree
not
with
by you. By a bunch of people in the chat and Braylon. But Matt Miller had this to say.
I laughed at you?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, Matt Miller had this to say about Mel Kiper.
And I didn't run this by Mel, but I'm going to just say this because I think we all agree. This man should be in the NFL Hall of Fame. Because this event does not happen without Mel Kiper Jr. Amen. It doesn't. I'm not sitting here without Mel Kiper Jr., somebody who I watched since I was 7 years old and wanted to be like, and now I get to share a stage with him. So this man needs to be in the NFL Hall of Fame. And he won't ever advocate, he won't ever politic for that, but I will absolutely do it.
To me, that's reserved for those special athletes that played, that did what they do. And then bottom line is, Matt, I appreciate it because you do an amazing job. Field, all you guys, Todd, everybody's, Daniel, everybody's come along. Millions of people are following this draft. Lou, I mean.
So, Bray, I know you want to weigh in on this.
Yeah.
Here's why I said it. The exact reason why Matt Miller
suggested. You said what you said, first of all.
I said that Mel Kiper should be in the Hall of Fame because of his contribution to the game of pro football. And Mel Kiper's contribution to the game of pro football has been turning this NFL draft into the second biggest event this country has to offer.
Facts.
And he single-handedly created that. Single-handedly created the second biggest event this country has to offer. The NFL draft is talked about the minute your team goes 1-6. The minute you believe your team is out of any playoff race is when sports talk completely dives into the draft and you start looking at mocks, and you cannot wait for a mock draft. He has changed the way it's been done in the NBA because those mock drafts are out. I think there was no such thing as a mock draft before Mel Kiper. I think there was no such thing as a player draft being as big as it was before Mel Kiper. And for his contribution to the game of pro football, I think he does belong in the Hall of Fame.
Especially like in the broadcast wing.
Yeah.
In the broadcast wing.
I was going to say, Ryan, when you made this comment last year, I didn't say you're crazy. I just said you were wrong. I think the NFL Hall of Fame, it should be reserved for the players. It should be reserved for the coaches. It should be reserved for those individuals. And then you guys told me about the front office people. I think it's 3 of them that are in the Hall of Fame. I've had a year to think about that. I think you're absolutely correct. It's funny. If you see what Mel said exactly what I said.
Exactly what you said.
In terms of it should be for the players. But there are game changers. There are people that change a thing and make a thing better. And I would be lying if I said part of my draft experience of excitement when I got drafted wasn't Mel Kiper was going to talk about me. Mel Kiper was going to break me down and say, what are the things that are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? That comes with the excitement of being called on draft day. It comes with that. But that's Mel Kiper. That's what he's created. That's the niche. So to your point, there is a wing, Maz. There is special space for those game changers that didn't wear the helmet, that didn't wear the shoulder pads. But not everybody that made this game great, whether around the game itself or before the season started, not everybody wore helmets. Not everybody wore shoulder pads. So I got to come back humbly and say I agree with you a year later.
Let me say this, too. Hoofhearted says Kiper loved Matt Millen's draft, if I remember correctly. Daydu says maybe I don't know history, but I have always thought Mel sucked. Justin from North Carolina, Wilson 1. Kiper gets the Lions pick wrong every single year. I think the disconnect.
It doesn't matter.
There's 265.
Thank you. Wait a minute. That's the point.
Doesn't matter.
That's the point. I think people. What you and I'm not trying to like talk down to anybody. I'm really not. But what you guys don't get is that he never has to be right ever. But everybody is still talking about it.
40 years later.
Like, if Mel Kiper never got one pick right in his life, it wouldn't matter a lick.
Facts.
Yeah.
Because we all get it wrong.
But we all get it wrong.
And it don't matter.
I could throw a mock draft out there. Nobody. What does it matter? Nobody cares, right? Mel Kiper throws a mock draft out there and literally giving content for hours and weeks and months to every NFL city and every football fan in the world. And I don't even know what his hit rate was. Matt Miller had 8 direct hits, as he put, and 29 to 32 guys drafted in the first round. That's pretty darn good, I think, when it comes to mock drafts. But one thing about this job that I think there's a huge misconception about, I never have to be right, ever. I'd like to be right, but it doesn't matter. Like, if I'm right, if I'm wrong, if I say Malik Willis is going to get, it doesn't matter.
You guys are still laughing about it.
Exactly. I still get tweets, Ryan said he could bat 200 in the major leagues. So, what does it matter? I mean,
it's one word: entertainment. Mel Kiper is entertainment.
Thank you. This whole thing, this business is about entertaining you and getting you to talk, creating a emotion in the fan, right? Creating an emotion, drawing a reaction. It doesn't matter if Braylon's ever right or wrong. It's why nobody comes out here reading freaking stats. Oh, let me tell you this. Oh, this guy's exit velo is. Nobody cares about that stuff because you know why? Exit velo is not entertaining. Nobody cares.
It bothers me, actually. It just bothers me.
You know, it is entertaining. Who is entertaining? It's Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
He's not retiring. He signed a 2-year extension.
Did he?
Look at that.
2-year extension, Travis Kelce. So I guess the Taylor Swift
They
thing.
drafted a tight end as well, Kansas City.
As they should.
Yeah.
As they should, but I just thought you should know that breaking
Thank
news.
you.
There you go. So, yeah, that's my
Mel
little...
Kiper is the NFL draft.
And Ken Brown nailed it here. Ken Brown, we love Ken Brown
KB.
from WJR, KB. Mel created the industry. This guy legitimately created something that was nothing.
Yeah.
And not only created something, but created what I believe and what many people believe is the second biggest event in the entire country.
It is.
When it comes to sports.
Yeah, you should get some credit for that.
So, well, like
Mel Kiper, Matt Miller said it. He's not here. Field Yates is not here. Lou Riddick, all those guys are not here without Mel Kiper.
Well, maybe not Lou Riddick, but like Todd McShay and those guys. You know,
Todd.
But either way, yeah. So, just wanted to point that out.
I can't wait for next year already.
Right.
And you know what? When we talk about mock drafts, the main one we get excited about is Mel Kiper's.
No doubt. And by the way, Mel Kiper gave the Lions a B.
Yeah, he did.
In the draft grade.
Give him a read.
The top needs entering the draft: cornerback, wide receiver, edge defender. Love the way GM Brad Holmes has remodeled his cornerback group this offseason. It was his biggest weakness. The Lions ranked 31st in pass attempts. Gives some more stats that nobody cares about. So Holmes traded for Carlton Davis, signed Amik Robertson, re-signed Emmanuel Mosley and Kindle Vildor, then used his top 2 picks on Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw. This core is now one of the deepest in the entire league. Goes through it. Lions certainly upgraded at corner, but after Wingo, I don't see their day 3 players getting a significant opportunity in 2024. Plus, that 2025 third rounder looms as potentially valuable. So Mel Kiper gives the Detroit Lions a B.
Yeah, there should always be a ranking now, right after the draft, and then there should be another ranking after the season. You know, if you look at the Lions ranking from everybody post-draft last year versus post after the season last year, much different grade, much different understanding of what Brad Holmes and the front office was trying to do. I think once again, yet we know it will be good. It'll be a different ranking. But, I mean, a B is not bad. Like for what we believe they did, they reached in the fourth with those two developmental players, but then they got back in credit for the guys that are probably grading up a little higher. B is fair. I think I like what you got there, man.
Thanks for my Jet hat.
Wow.
Braylon got me my Jets draft hat. Thank you for that.
100%, man.
Mel Kiper, we got an A in our draft. It's an A when they go to the Super Bowl and win it this year.
That's great.
Yeah,
hat drop.
Hat drop is right.
I told you my dad that he didn't like what Mel Kiper said about me.
Stan, don't piss Stan off.
I ran into Stoney, and Stoney was like, "Did your dad like me?"
Don't piss Stan off.
What'd you say?
It depends, but he hated Mel Kiper. Mel Kiper talked about every wide receiver but me, so he didn't like it.
Oh man, that's great.
Revenge, right?
Maz, are you out of here?
I got a few more minutes.
Okay. Maz has got double header action today. What do you got today with the St. Joan of Arc?
Not St. Joan today. I got
a funeral.
My Uncle Joe passed away.
Oh, jeez.
That's okay.
Damn.
Don't worry about it.
What a jerk.
Uncle Joe, we love you, man.
God.
Forever.
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah,
don't worry about it.
Damn. All right. Very good.
It's okay.
Quick break. Let's take a quick break.
Sorry, Uncle Joe.
That's okay. Uncle Joe don't care.
What a great guy.
He forgives you.
All right. Now a message from Swiss.
On that note, I have good news and I have bad news. The bad news is that insurance rates are going up across the board in Michigan, but the good news is that Swiss Insurance is here to help. Right now, more than ever, it's critical for you to have your insurance reviewed, and Swiss will make sure that your carrier does not slip in extra fees or raise deductibles. Call Mark at Swiss Insurance today or visit SwissINS.com and tell them Woodward Sports sent you. Also, speaking of Woodward Sports, you can see this guy on Wake Up Woodward. That is Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. right here on the Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Join Kenny G.
Yeah.
JB, Sam Flannel, Matt Broder, and of course the great Kool-Aid, one of my favorite people here at Woodward Sports. You can join them every Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. We'll be right back.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Any Lady Jane's haircuts for men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola, really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
What's good, man? How you doing? What you got for me today? Let's have a look, man. I see the one I want right there. That's the one I'm looking for.
Welcome to the winner's circle, Blake.
Hey.
Figer Law. All we do is win.
All we do is win.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
All right, welcome back. Woodward Sports Network, Ryan Amani, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazaway, KG in the house with us. Appreciate him. And, of course, Pete Spivak killing it today. We threw a lot at Pete today. We really appreciate his effort.
Pleasure, boy. Easy money, Pete.
Just saw, going to switch it up from the NFL for a little bit. I don't know how many people are paying attention to the hockey playoffs and the NBA playoffs.
I am.
I think they're pretty darn good.
They are.
Games are pretty darn good. Now,
Charles Barkley is best.
He is just a treasure.
Him and Shaq.
Absolutely.
They destroyed.
Honest to God.
Everybody.
It's the best show on television.
It is.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
Do you know why?
The best.
Do you know why it's the best show on television?
Yeah, because it's funny.
There's nothing PC about it.
No.
By the way. That's why it's the best show on television.
I freaking love that.
They have a license to really say whatever they want.
They get paid to say whatever they want.
They don't care who they're offending. Nobody's trying to cancel them. They don't care if you are trying to cancel them. They're gonna say it anyway. You know what I mean? It is the least. It is like the least PC live show on there. They're not trying to be friends with the players.
And that's the thing. So many people dance around the players. They don't want to offend, insert players' names, feelings, because they don't want that player to think bad about them, that player not to do interviews, that player not to come on the shows, that player not to speak to them when they see them in person. They don't care. They're all Hall of Famers. They all got championships. Well, some of them have championships. They don't care, because what's going to end up happening? Every time, those guys end up calling these guys up on the side, apologizing so that they can what? Start talking about them again, man. They don't care. They're legends of the industry, and they kind of grandfather this is like the last safe space for analysts in the basketball world.
Did you hear Barkley when he was in the steam room?
Getting the bracelet?
He got a bracelet from a guy in a steam room. Shaq's asking him if they had towels on. Ernie he's dying. Ernie's the best straight man in all of television. And Kenny's laughing. Shaq has to leave the desk because he's laughing so much. They just.
You see what he said about the Pelicans? They're talking about
they belong in Galveston.
He said they're going to Galveston. With the fake water that comes up on the shore.
With the big women and the dirty water.
Right.
But that was hilarious.
Like,
oh my God.
Who could talk about fat women and dirty water?
If we were talking about big
canceled?
Women, Fox 2 would be out.
He had to apologize to Beyonce's mother because Beyonce's mother's from Galveston.
Right.
He said, I don't want to get behind that beehive or something like that.
It's just such great stuff. You know, Jerry Seinfeld, happy birthday, Jerry, 70 years old today, too, was talking about,
comedy and
shows. And, like, now nothing's funny because
can't say anything.
It's got to go through 4 or 5 different people. When there's committee by anything,
it waters it down.
It's done.
Yeah.
Jerry's like, you can't have a sitcom anymore because you're not allowed to be funny.
To offend anybody.
You can't offend Watch
anybody.
Seinfeld. Watch Curb Your Enthusiasm. They don't give a damn.
So anyway, back to the NBA. Tonight, in LeBron James, they ended the 11-game win streak. Winless streak that the Denver Nuggets had on them. Tonight, the Lakers try to stave off elimination against the Denver Nuggets. Denver leads that series 3-1. It's back in Denver. Jamal Murray's status for this game, by the way, game time decision. So maybe that adds to a level of intrigue regarding this game. But how about Carrie Champion, who is a former Sports Center anchor? She is dialed in. She just tweeted this out an hour ago. Just got a text from my friend. He says tonight is LeBron's last game in the purple and gold, assuming they're going to lose tonight.
By the way, it's Forum Blue and Gold.
Forum blue and gold.
Yes.
The layperson will say purple and gold.
That's fine.
I'm
not a layperson.
I feel like she is onto something, and she has some type of information. The next question is, where's LeBron James going to go? I don't know. Maybe he goes to Miami.
Back to Cleveland?
Maybe he goes to...
Pat Riley would not have him back.
No, you're right. Maybe he goes to Golden State. Golden State is the likely scenario, I would say.
How about the place I always wanted him to go to?
Detroit?
The New York Knicks.
I don't think they
play with Jalen Brunson.
I don't care. The New York Knicks. I always said, if he really wanted to be put on a pedestal, win a championship for the New York Knicks, because I was 11 years old when they won their last, and look at me now.
Cleveland's never won a championship.
What do you think about that, Bray?
I look at it like this. There's been some turbulence between the Los Angeles Lakers. Everybody also knows what LeBron wants to do. He wants to play with his son, Bronny. I don't know how those talks were with Jeannie Buss and himself, how they went. You see it seems to be a disconnect and a checkout for him when he's sitting at the podium. He's talking about whether it's the play of AD or whether it's the coaching of Darvin Ham. They just don't seem like they're on the same page. And the Lakers are looking at it like this. Hey, look, we got a championship out of LeBron. Maybe it might be time to move on and go in a different direction. We can't keep held hostage by LeBron James. I know he's still one of the best players in the NBA. Shoot, I would take him in a 7-game series, as Maz always says, who doesn't even like LeBron James. He's still that good, but you really got to bet your team for the future. And that LeBron James isn't the future of the Los Angeles Lakers, whether it's for blue and gold or purple and gold. He's not the future for that. So if you're LeBron, you got to figure out what's your next move, where can I get Bronny, and where can I have some success, or where can I have an opportunity to get another title.
I think the unique aspect about LeBron James, too, is he's not just a basketball player. I mean, this guy is
one of the icons.
Just a mega business persona. He is in the entertainment business. He's in all of it. And all of that is in Los Angeles. So I guess I can't really understand him leaving L.A. because of all the business elements to being LeBron James.
Yeah. But does that change because he goes to another franchise? We know where he's going to shut down shop. He's going to shut down in L.A. He will live in L.A. residence-wise for the rest of his career. He's already partnered in with Fox Studios. He lives around the corner off Cahuenga, if you will. He's partnered in. If you got 2 more years and you're trying to get Bronny in and maybe another run at this thing, you can go somewhere. It doesn't matter. How about the
Clippers?
He's always having fun. He's always trying the next challenge. How about, like you said, the Warriors? What about
what's wrong with the Clippers? They've never won a thing.
Yeah, but you can't. I think it gets weird. Then I think you're staying in the building or staying in the city, but you're going to the other franchise who already has enough money they're kicking out between James Harden's contract, Paul George's contract, and Kawhi Leonard's contract, who just got an extension, mind you, last year going into this season. So there's no money in LA.
They're getting their own building, by the way, next season.
This is true. But they're still in L.A. and they're still the little brother, and they will be.
So I almost threw up in my mouth last night, too, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards is disgusting.
Nah.
Anthony Edwards, 22.
Good actor, too.
22-year-old player of the Minnesota Timberwolves.
They'd sweep.
This kid is 22 years old.
Cousin.
This kid is 22 years old, and he could be the next face of the league. And he's that good. And I just think the Pistons had the number 1 pick. They'll have it again this year. There's nobody that even resembles a guy like Anthony Edwards.
You know what makes him so electric besides his play? Because don't get me wrong, John Morant was doing electric things. There's always a player that comes. Jalen Brunson, I mean, we got to talk about him. And he validates my theory about winning in college. But
3 guys off that Villanova championship team. How about that?
100%. They won in college, and that's why you would trust Jalen Brunson right now. He won at the highest level 2 championships, Naismith Player of the Year, DiVincenzo, the MVP of the national championship game against Michigan, and Josh Hart, who's been on 4 teams, but everywhere he goes, he's a consistent player. But just getting back to LeBron, talking about Anthony Edwards.
Oh, Anthony Edwards.
His competitive level. Like nowadays in the NBA, everybody's friends. It's what made Giannis so fun early on before he, kind of fell off the last couple of years.
You called them getting knocked out, too. They're down 3-1.
It's the friendship thing. Everybody wants to be boys. They want to hang out. They want to group up, super team up. They want to kick it. They want to play at the Drew League in the offseason. They want to go play at that gym in New York, the Lifetime, where everybody's shooting those threes that Hoodie Mello was born. Like, they want to hang out and be friends, do projects together. Anthony Edwards is here to bust your you-know-what on the court. Like, even as he's showing KD reverence and respect, he's still out there giving KD all he wants and more. That's what the NBA used to be about. That's what sports was about. And I believe Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, I believe they brought some of that back last year, the Women's National Championship, because they were beefing, they were fighting, they were throwing shots on the court, throwing shots off the court, and it led to us wanting to see that. But that's Anthony Edwards. He's talking stuff to these players. He doesn't care who he's lined up against. He dunked on KD and then gave him an earful. After he just said, that's my favorite player. Certain players in this area, they can't turn it off and on. They look at the guys they look up to. They look at the guys that they want to hang out with. They want to be friends with. Anthony Edwards is like, on this court, it's me and my squad versus you and yours.
Speaking of KD and the Suns.
Legacy about to take a hit.
Suns got swept. Matt Ishbia is getting made fun of. Yes, that Matt Ishbia, who we said is going to be a great owner.
Everybody wanted Ishbia to buy everything here.
They're getting laughed at in Phoenix. They're calling it Looney Tunes. Frank Vogel, 1 year, he's going to get fired. It's not his fault. He's going to get fired. And supposedly, this guy doesn't know what the hell he's doing. And he's ruining the Suns.
They don't have any first-round picks until 2030, I believe.
You see what Devin Booker wore pregame?
Yeah, Steve
Yzerman's jersey.
You know he's from up the street.
Yeah.
He's born and raised.
We've always said he'd be.
Stephen A.
Why
said,
not break it up and bring him here?
Well, Stephen A. said he wants to go play for the Knicks.
Okay, that's fine with me.
And now,
but the Pistons would be phenomenal.
If I was him, I would want to play with him too.
When you look now, the Knicks are the destination of the NBA, I think.
I hope so.
They've got such for the first time in a long time. When you see that building, when the Garden is the Garden, there's no better building in basketball. There's no better building maybe in sports.
The world. Yeah.
And when they're winning, you want to be a part of it. I think guys like Booker, maybe guys like LeBron, I don't know. You want to be a part of it. Jalen Brunson is becoming that guy. All-time record for Knicks postseason points. Beat Bernard King yesterday with, what do you have, 47, something like that?
47 and 10. First time he's in 47 and 10 ever in the
King got that against the Pistons against Isaiah. You remember that game?
100. He's special. And I love the video they show. Have you seen the videos that circulate with Jalen Brunson and his father, kind of how his father raised him doing drills, stayed on him much like Dale Curry and Steph Curry. Like, he's one of those guys, man. He put in the work. And then he won in college. Like, when you win in college, like, I would take him. Look, I love Anthony Edwards. He's my favorite player in the league. I always talk about him. Cuzzo, same last name. But I take Jalen Brunson the playoff run right now because I trust what he's done in the past. I trust him with 2 national championships. I trust him as a leader. I trust him being able to deal with adversity in games in terms of maybe losing the game, maybe getting blown out, or maybe not having it. So, Jalen Brunson, you got to tip your cap off to him because he got ran out of Dallas. Like, this is supposed to be Luka and Jalen Brunson. But they ran him out of there. They didn't want to pay him after he got them to the Western Conference Finals because, remember, Luka was injured. Pay attention to what you see. Like, and Mark Cuban's a super smart guy. Championship 2011. Pay attention to what you see. You saw this. You had the first scope. Now you're trying to figure it out with Kyrie, and it's just not working, although Kyrie balled.
You know, back to Durant for a second, though. Guy's lost 15 of his last 21 playoff games. Think about that for a moment.
Should have just stayed with Golden State.
I mean, clearly.
He would have had 2 more championships.
He's a good player, but he's not a number 1 anymore, is he?
He's still a number 1, but he's still a number 1. But his legend is taking a hit. Like, his legacy, if you will, has taken a hit. You can't keep getting swept. You can't keep getting – like, last year he didn't even show up to the playoffs. Like, at least this year he had some good games, but they got swept. Last year he didn't show up. You got swept. The whole Brooklyn Nets thing, whether it's your fault or not, didn't work. This thing right here did not work. Don't do things for other people. He left because the people said it was a snake move and it was a low move. You should go somewhere and win yourself. You should have stayed his butt in Golden State, like you said, man, and they would have won 3-4 more titles.
Easy.
Instead, Steph wins another one without you.
Yep.
Meanwhile, you're still grasping at teams to try to take the easy route to win
Can't
another
even get
chip.
out of the first round.
And I love KD, but it's not looking good after these last 3 seasons.
The Nets, let's face it, that was a disaster. It was a failed experiment.
But that was his disaster he created, though, too.
I know.
You know, he went to Brooklyn. Work. He brought those guys in. He tried to pull the LeBron to Miami stuff. That was him.
Should have went to the Knicks.
Kyrie bought him, yeah.
Absolutely. NHL playoffs, your Rangers got the sweep as well,
Not my Rangers, but, you know, they're from the city I live in.
He's an Islander guy.
Oh, you're Islander guy?
I'm an Islander and Devil, but the Rangers swept.
What don't you like about the Rangers?
My friends always love them. Beautiful uniform, by the way. One of the best in all the sports, especially their Broadway Blues. But they sweep the Caps. They got to chill out now and wait. How about our Oilers? Kenny Holland's Oilers are up 3-1 now. They win 1-0 last night. Great manager, that Kenny Holland. Great manager. Who else? The Predators lost last night. Vancouver's up 3-1.
Did you see that Predators game?
It was a great game.
Oh my God!
Great game.
They were
great
up,
finish.
They were.
Did you see Taylor Lewan and his daughter?
Yeah, that was great. So the Predators were up 3-1 with what? Less than a minute to go, or was it a minute and a half to go? I got to get my times right. Hold on, let me pull it up.
Late in the game.
And the Canucks scored. Hold on, I got to get this. I want the clock. The Canucks scored with made it 3-2 with 2 minutes and 49 seconds left to go in the game. Then they scored with 8 seconds to go in the game to tie it up. Then they scored a minute into overtime, won it. Vancouver won 4-3.
And that just broke their back.
Stunning the Nashville
And that
Predators.
broke their back. They go up 3-1. And a couple games tonight on the docket.
Yeah, who's playing tonight? Florida, the Battle of Florida?
Yeah, Florida will finish off Tampa Bay tonight.
Finish them off.
They're up 3-1. And what's that second game they're on? I can't
Dallas
see
and
it.
Vegas.
Dallas, Vegas. Vegas should hold serve.
Tampa's run over?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah, it's over for them.
You know what? I wouldn't mind having John Cooper come on over to the Red Wings.
Come on, Johnny.
Come on, John
Come
Cooper.
on, John
They
Cooper.
won one after Stevie Y left, correct?
Yes.
They won the year he left.
The year he left, right?
Yeah. And I think they won another one.
Yeah, they might have won
Yeah.
another
That's what I'm saying. They won another one.
And they won another. They had a hell of a run.
Hell of a run.
You know who was the original owner of that team? The great Phil Esposito.
No, the original owner of that team was Bill Davidson.
Well, Phil Esposito founded that team.
Okay,
he was the founder of that team.
I'm listening to Maz.
What's the founder? What does that mean?
First person to own
He was the first person to own that team.
Well, what about Bill Davidson?
He was a partner with Bill Davidson,
Oh,
but Phil
okay.
Esposito, that's his team.
Oh, you could just find teams? Can I find an NBA team in Las Vegas?
Matt Ishbia found the team.
I'll find that.
That's fine, man. Phil Esposito was the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Love Phil
Yes.
Esposito.
And then Bill Davidson came over, and what did they call their place?
The Ice Palace.
The Ice Palace.
Look at that.
Love
I
that.
remember. Because at one point,
Bill Wickett even
Bill
went with
Davidson had an NBA title, a
An
NHL title,
title.
and a WNBA title.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a
about
great
that?
owner.
Great owner.
Great man.
Great man.
Great man.
Okay, I wanted to get Maz your take on this too. We're big broadcaster people. Boomer Esiason, Phil Simms out at CBS.
The two best guys out
Yeah.
on the show. The rest of the show absolutely sucks. But they get rid of the two best guys.
Yeah, I've never liked Phil Simms. I love Boomer Esiason. And to your point, I think they are the best two guys in the show. But yeah, I can't. Who's that?
So it's
Bill
gonna be
Cowher?
Bill Cowher's
He's the
terrible.
worst.
So
He's
it's going to be.
terrible.
He's so bad.
So
And
it's
now they
good-
brought in Matty Ice,
Yep, so
which
it's
I
good-
like.
It's going to be
Okay.
James Brown,
I think he's terrible, by the
Bill
way.
You think James
Cowher,
Brown's
Yeah.
terrible?
He's
Nate
done.
Burleson,
He's
and
done.
Matt.
I don't like Burleson
Ryan.
either.
I like Nate in certain things. I actually saw him on Friday at the draft. I like him in certain spaces, like the waking up in the morning, doing Good Morning Football. Like,
I think his head got too big.
Well, shoot, the money he's making,
I know.
it would have got
I'm
too
just
big,
saying.
too.
I like them the way he used to be. I do. I'm just saying.
Right.
Right.
I'm pretty
I think
good.
you're
I'm pretty good at these
I
things.
think you're entitled to that.
I'm entitled to it.
Yeah,
But Phil Simms and Boomer was the best on that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
And Cowher was the worst. And they're gonna have TJ Watt on in certain times as
Yeah.
well. But it's time
TJ's
to put,
pretty good. I
It's
saw
time for
him.
JB to hang it up. It's time for I don't like Menifee either. I don't like that whole Fox thing. Fox sucks. Fox NFL pregame, I'm not a fan of.
What don't you like about Terry and Howie?
Terry is terrible. Terry is
Wait,
shot.
No.
He's shot.
You're wrong. Terry is as entertaining as they come.
Okay. All
You're
right.
wrong.
I'm
Terry
sorry.
sucks.
He doesn't.
No, I mean it's all entertainment.
True, but
I
also he's
understand
getting to
that.
a space where he's like, and I don't want to say this, but he's entering senilism. He's a little too old, kind of like Lou Holtz.
Be careful a little bit here where we are.
Strahan, I think, is the best on that
I
team.
put it to you
Yes,
this way, and I can say this: he keeps getting in trouble for things. They keep having to take him off the show for things. At one point,
They
what does he
benched
have
him
to
three
say?
times last
They
year.
benched-
Why they bench him?
Because he makes errors and he does dumb
things
things.
that you, and they're not along the lines of Jerry Seinfeld talking about what you can and cannot say today. It's along the lines
Well,
of
that's like, but that Barkley could say, you know what I mean?
I know, but it's different.
I don't know. I would need examples.
What was
Do you
it?
watch it?
Was it the Mark Sanchez?
I don't really watch.
Yeah, the Sanchez
thing was bad when he said, "Sir, you must call me sir."
Oh yeah.
And that was one.
I don't
of
like
them.
that. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't watch pregame shows.
I'm not a pregame guy.
Yeah.
I'm not.
You like Big Noon Kickoff?
I do like Big Noon Kickoff.
Big Noon Kickoff gets it right.
The best one is, and I don't really like it, it's because they beat up, they took it away from ESPN. It's the NBC night show.
It's a terrible show.
I think it's a better show.
I don't like Rodney Harrison.
Are you kidding me?
I don't like Rodney Harrison.
Rodney
I don't
Harrison
like
and
Tony Dungy.
Dungy are terrible.
And I like them. Isn't
Yeah.
that funny?
I love Tony as a person,
And
but like
Jack Collinsworth?
Well, he's hardly on. Hardly on.
I've lost all respect for you.
Oh my God.
I don't like pregame shows, okay?
Okay.
Just
Fair
end
enough.
it. End it.
Fair enough.
Give me an ESPN show any day of the week.
Okay.
Yeah, you two are
Just
hilarious.
making sure. I've lost all respect for you.
Albert and
everything.
Costello.
By the way, Tigers and the Cardinals this week.
Tigers win the series.
How about that?
2-3 or 2-1 over the Royals.
16 and
Tarek
12.
Skubal is an ace, officially a stopper. He is.
Could be a Cy Young winner.
I'm going to make a prediction, guys. The Houston Astros are in the toilet.
JV?
Justin Verlander is going to be here
Might be.
to finish his career.
Might be. He'll get traded this year.
He's coming here.
He'll get traded. Absolutely. And the Tigers are going to have a shot at the postseason if they continue to play like this.
They are. They're above 500 team.
It's the bullpen. It's the bullpen.
It is.
Hey,
once they start hitting, let's face
speaking
it.
of hitting, what's up with your boy?
I know he hasn't hit yet.
He hasn't hit one home
I know.
run.
He has not hit.
Who's your boy?
Spencer Torkelson.
Torque.
Oh,
Torque.
man.
Torque was going into the season. A lot of people had him to cross that magic number, that magic spot. I don't say magic.
He's hitting the ball hard, though. Have you seen his exit velo? Hitting the ball hard.
How about Dan Dickerson Day yesterday?
I'm done.
Great.
With you.
Did you see what the Tigers did for him?
Beautiful.
How many people were at the game? Was it 40,000?
I'm not sure, but it had to be packed.
Probably
great
the weather.
weekend.
Weather was.
But they brought it out Saturday night, or was it yesterday? It was yesterday during the day. They brought his kids out to throw their first pitch. They surprised the hell out of them. Rachel and Justin, JD, were out there throwing the first pitch out. They had so much great video and pictures of Dan and his family. I mean, I talked to him today. He's like over the moon.
Such a great
25 years, man.
Couldn't happen to a better guy.
From Ernie to Dan Dickerson, how happy are Tiger fans?
And what about from Bud Lynch to
Ken Cal.
Ken Cal.
And Ken Daniels.
You know?
Fantastic.
I mean, Mark Champion to Dan Miller. I mean, we're very lucky here.
Well, Bud Lynch was the PA. You mean?
Oh, yeah. Bruce Martin. Bruce Martin.
Yeah, the great Bruce Martin.
Yeah, Bruce Martin. Thank you. And once again, God bless Bob Cole.
It's all Detroit here.
Detroit.
The great Bob Cole here. Hockey night
man.
in Canada.
Oh, man.
Fantastic. I love sports.
Hey, thanks, Maz.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you, brother.
Sorry about your uncle as
Thanks,
well.
man.
Appreciate you.
Not the doubleheader. It was my uncle. It wasn't
Sorry
a
about
doubleheader.
the doubleheader.
It's okay. Doubleheader
So
Friday,
sorry.
though. Coming up.
Can't believe I said it was a doubleheader.
It's okay, Ryan.
Bray?
Kenny? Great job, KG.
Thank you, man.
KG.
Thank you.
man.
Kenny G.
No problem.
KG, we didn't utilize you today. We apologize.
I'm trying to go
good, man.
easy on KG
We
today.
I had a
apologize
long day today. It's all good.
We had too much to say today.
The people have heard me enough, so.
Yeah, this is true.
Where are the people?
Yeah, man.
Show me the people.
Please.
KG, Pete, appreciate you guys. You guys are MVP of this show, man. A lot was thrown at you two today, and you guys worked your magic, and it was a great show. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Detroit Lions, 6 new members through the draft. We'll talk more and more, and we'll give you more insight about those players, but it's just fun, man. Detroit.
So good.
Can you imagine? Detroit Lions are now the blueprint for how to run a franchise and how to run a draft. Who the heck would have thought that, man?
How about Frank Beckman to
I love Beckman.
Jim
Oh,
Brandstad.
fantastic.
You two are
Randy
hilarious.
DeKarsh.
How about
Man.
Gibby? Somebody help Gibby.
Man, we're out. We'll see you guys.
We'll see
later.
ya.
Sorry about Uncle Joe.
Gibby.